Now, we concluded our last lesson on this precept: refrain from killing, anatipata veramani. Now, the conditions that we found for the violation of this precept is that it is a living being and you have the knowledge, you are aware, you are mindful that it is a living being. The intention or the resolution to kill, the act of killing, and the resultant death. Now, these facts, object, knowledge, intention, the act, and the consequence, must be completed or must be there for you to be responsible for the killing. If any of these missing, especially if this is missing, the intention, because it is the key factor here, your intention to kill. Now that intention missing in the picture, you have no responsibility. You have no any kind of violation over this precept. You can be free of that idea that I killed someone. So if you did not have that intention, you are free of it. For example, while you are attending to your day-to-day chores, day-to-day activities, while walking here and there, how many insects may have or might be getting killed, being trampled over them on your feet, by your feet, walking on them. You might be killing, or you might have killed many such living beings, but you had no idea. You are unaware of them. So you did not have the responsibility for their death. So the intention plays the major role in this violation of the first precept. Buddha says there are three roots behind, not just for killing, behind all the actions of unwholesome. The roots are very much well known among us. They are greed, hatred, delusion, lobha, dosa, moha. Now, greed can be a root for killing because of the greed. Greed for flesh. A hunter would kill an animal. And out of hatred, we kill someone. But greed and hatred cannot function together. They have to be coupled with delusion. So delusion plus greed functions. Hatred plus delusion functions. So delusion is the defilement which is behind the curtain, behind the veil, and direct one to act based on greed or hatred. And also sometimes because of the mind is overwhelmed by total delusion, we call them moha chitta. Yeah, this is coming in the Abhidhamma, where the mind is totally consumed, totally submerged in the delusion. Then also somebody can do the act of killing. So these are the three roots where a killing can be manifested. Now, these three aspects should be focused upon. How precept is violated. Committed by oneself. without being induced, forced, or asked by somebody else, you can yourself perform that one. Then by commanding or instructing others to do it, you don't perform it, but you are the commander. You ask somebody else to do it, but your responsibility is there. Though you are not physically involved with that action, you are the one gave the command. So your responsibility is there. Then the last one, rejoicing in the act. You did not commit it, you did not command to do it, but you rejoiced. What happened? You are responsible for it. Let me tell you a story. It says that the Buddha had a very strong headache, severe headache, that he suffered throughout his life, his final life, after enlightenment. Now, the cause behind this headache is not an action he performed or not an action he commanded to perform, but an action of rejoicing. His relatives went for fishing. They brought a huge number of fish with them, and they heaped them on the ground, and these fish were jumping. They are suffering on the ground in that huge mound of fish. And the Bodhisattva, seeing this, he rejoiced. Oh, today is the big harvest. Well done. Good job. He rejoiced with that act of killing. What happened? That rejoicing had to be paid back with that severe headache. And there are other instances like Edgar Cayce says, this is found in the book of Jina Serminara, The Many Mansions. In that book, we found this incident that a group of people came to Edgar Cayce and they were having the same kind of ailment, sickness. They were suffering in polio. They are suffering with polio, having these difficulties to walk and behave properly. Polio. A group of people suffering in one sickness, polio. Edgar Cayce went to their past lives to check what kind of horrendous karma they have performed to suffer like this. And Edgar Cayce found they had done nothing. They had done nothing wrong, but what they have done is rejoicing. They were once born in Rome while it was such a powerful country. You know, during the times of Augustus Caesar, or these 2 centuries probably, Rome was the most powerful country in the world. They invaded many other countries and brought human beings as slaves to their country. And these slaves were manipulated by those slave masters to utilize for all sorts of horrendous deeds. They had this famous sport which is played in the arenas, yeah, that slaves are made to fight with animals, hungry animals like lions, bears, and sometimes they were they were made to fight each other. That's how the gladiators come into the scene. Now these slaves, they fight to survive from the death. Naturally, they get killed or they kill the other. Blood are spilled, limbs are cut, the suffering is there. And the people around the arena, around that ground, who are sitting, they are enjoying this bloodshed. They are enjoying that pain. They are enjoying that killing. And these people who came with this polio to meet Edgar Casey were the ones who were enjoying that evil deed. They did not they did not go into the arena and kill anyone. No. They did not command anyone to kill. No. They rejoiced. Right? So rejoicing, anumodana, anumodana of others' evil deeds, of others' killing is nothing but sharing, sharing others' sin to our lives. That's why Buddha says, rejoicing in the act forces you to be participant in the act of killing, and you are sharing that evil deed, evil karma. Then comes the second category, intensity and severity of violation. The spiritual nobility of the victim. When the victim, when the one who gets killed is higher and greater in spirituality, in morality, in virtues, than the perpetrator, than the one who kills, naturally the killer gets the greater unwholesome, sinful energy, negative energy, dark energy. So one who gets killed, one who gets tortured, when that person is greater in spirituality than the killer, naturally the killer gets the biggest sort of unwholesome energy. So from animal to a human being, and in the humanity, when that person is more and more refined, purified within, so that matters to enhance or reduce the negative energy that the perpetrator, the one who commits that crime, to gain. All right. The second one, size of a being, the size of the living being. Now, killing a mosquito is so simple, so nothing. You don't even remember how many mosquitoes you may have killed. You might have killed thousands of mosquitoes anytime. When you are disturbed, your hand just go there and kill that mosquito. You can't even remember. Very little impact on your mind. That is why you cannot remember. But if you happen to kill an elephant, you are bound to remember that because effort is greater, time consumed greater, energy, greater energy to put in. Naturally, you are tend to have a deep impression in your mind according to the size of that living being. Then the next one, lifetime of the being. Again, mosquito lives a very short period of lifespan in comparison with the other animals like living hundreds of years, sometimes more than human beings. So the lifetime of the living being matters to deduce, to judge, to make sure that you generate greater or lower type kind of unwholesome energy. Then the last one is purpose of the precept. Purpose of the precept is twofold. Respect life. Buddha says all the living beings, they love their life best. If anybody to be asked, what is the most endearing thing to you? Who do you love most? The most genuine answer is, I love myself most. Every human being, every living being, cherish his life. And he will do anything to protect that love, that life. No one is ready to die. Everybody loves life. So that respecting the life, since you love your life, you should respect others' love for their life. That's the Buddha's teaching. That's the Buddha's guidelines. Atanang upamang katva nahaneya naghate. Having put yourself in the example, don't harm anyone, don't kill anyone. Buddha said. The second one is compassion. Healing and compassion cannot go together. You have to get rid of a total riddance of killing for the compassion to manifest in the life. So these are the ideas that we can find in this precept. Does it count as saving someone's life if you just refrain from killing them? So refraining itself is not enough. It is the negative, or it is the more lukewarm approach to the saving of life, refraining yourself. While refraining yourself, you have to be, it is called varitra. Varitra is to refrain from committing the evil, the unwholesome. But the active approach is not there. So refraining from killing someone is only a partial approach to this precept. The other approach, or the positive approach, is putting effort to save someone from dying. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing, right? This is somebody called Edmund Burke. Yeah, he said this, that the negative approach itself, doing nothing, is not enough. You have to be active and do something for saving, helping somebody to survive. Now comes the second precept, adinadana, refrain from stealing. Now, this is the usual translation we can find, refraining from stealing. But Buddha's way of explanation of the second precept is way deeper than this idea of stealing. It says, I undertake the training rule to abstain from taking what is not given. Though you may find that there is no anybody to own this, anybody to say this is mine, yet it is not given to you. So it means, though there is no visible owner to claim that it is there, it is someone, his or her, yet it is not given to you. So better not touch it. Buddha compared to those things as a snake. The story is that once Buddha was walking in a paddy field with Venerable Ananda, and it so happened, suddenly Buddha exclaimed. He just said, Ananda, did you see the serpent? Ananda, did you see the serpent? Venerable Ananda just looked around. He did not see a serpent, but he saw a bag of something. a bag of something, must be valuable something with it. Venerable Ananda understood that the Buddha is talking about this bag, and he's comparing this bag to a snake. Venerable Ananda just said, Bhante, yes, I saw the snake. I saw the snake. There was a farmer who is working nearby, and this farmer happened to got scared. He got scared because they are talking about a snake, and I am working in the paddy field. Then he looked around. He didn't see a snake, but he saw a bag. When he opened it, it was full of gold coins. Gold coins, filled bag. Then he remembered Buddha talked about snake. He must be referring to this bag. Why did he refer this bag as a snake? There must be something meaningful behind this. He just put this bag aside and continued his working. Policemen came because they were running after a bunch of thieves who had broke into a house in the previous night and stolen those valuable goods from the house. They came after this bunch of thieves by tracing their footprints, and they happened to saw this bag of gold coins. They thought this must be one of them. He's pretending to be a thief now, to be a farmer now. He's trying to deceive us. So they found the stolen good and they found the thief. Now they can go to the king boasting, okay, we got the gold, we got the culprit, we got the thief. The king did not inquire much. He just gave the capital punishment. Kill this man. And this man, trembling, so fearful, now he's going to be killed. He's walking, he's being dragged to the place where he's going to be killed, cut his neck. On the way, he is repeating this. Ananda, did you see the serpent? Yes, Lord. I saw the serpent. I saw the snake. Ananda, did you see the serpent? Yes, Lord. I saw the serpent. The policeman, king's man, was puzzled. Why he's talking like this? They asked him, why are you talking like this? The man said, please bring me to the king. I will explain you the reason behind these words. They brought the man to the king. And he explained to the king, this is what really happened. I am innocent. And he was survived. He survived the death thanks to the Buddha. His mistake is he touched that gold and kept quite away, hiding somewhere. Hidden place. That is the mistake. Otherwise, he is innocent. That touching itself, he got the snake bite. He was harmed just because he touched, which is not belong to him. The second precept was broken. So Buddha says, abstaining from taking what is not given is the observation of the second precept. Adinna dana veramaya. Adinna, that which is not given. Adana, ceasing grasping. So implied meaning is, I will respect the property of others. It doesn't belong to me. It is not given to me. So I have no right to take it. Be away from it. You are safe. That's the idea. Conditions for violation, object, anything that legally belongs to another. Knowledge, the perception of the item as belonging to another, understanding that it is not belong to me, is something belong to others. The thought or intent to steal. Yeah, this is something belong to others, and you think of taking it. The act of taking the item, the real act. Then the consequence, the actual theft of the article, the actual taking away of the object. Now, if these are completed, then comes the real act of stealing. Now, again, these three aspects: how precept is violated, committed by oneself, then commanding or instructing others to do, rejoicing in the act. Yeah. Just like what we applied for the first precept, these things are there. Out of these three, one can be committing the act of stealing in any sort of manner. Yeah. Then the intensity and severity, value of the stolen item, spiritual nobility of the victim, motivation behind the theft. Yeah. Motivation in the sense, sometimes people have a noble motivation to steal. Yeah. Somebody is so stingy, he doesn't share, and there are people suffering. Somebody steal something from that stingy person and share with those people who doesn't have. So it is a noble motivation behind. We can imagine it is not that bad, right? So motivation is matters. Then the purpose, respect others' property, social justice, guard against greed. These are the purpose of the precept. Respecting others' property. Yeah. People no need to be worried. If a society is respecting the property of others and being satisfied with one's own things, then nobody has fear that one day somebody may take away my things. Yeah. That fear is not there. Social justice is there. Then it is a guard against greed. Yeah. Your greed is controlled with that. All right. So our time is up. I think we will continue with the next lesson. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Bhante and Dhammananda, to taking time to teaching Buddha life from spreading the Dhamma